Yo, it's a way later start in the day than I would have liked, and my camera is extremely laggy, which is unfortunate. Um, but yeah, I've had terrible sleep for the past 2 nights now. This morning I fell asleep around half six, and then woke up around 15 minutes past 10. Um, but I want to keep practicing this, and that's what I'm really interested in. So I'm gonna crack on. Um, Today I have decided to approach trading a little bit differently. Um, I'm still gonna be trading in like shorter time frames, but I'm not going to be entering any trades today. I am purely going to be reading the chart and seeing how accurately I can do that. Because to then enter the trades is an is it risk management? And that is something I want to learn after this. And I don't want to put the pressure of both of these tasks to be learnt at the same time this early on. Today is the 24th of March. So it is the 6th, no, the 5th. Um, 5th day of learning. Um, which I'm actually a little bit annoyed about. I didn't get much done yesterday at all. And after all the things I've got to do today, it'll probably be a similar outcome. But here I am, so half the work is showing up. I'm saying, and I am trying my. I am. I had a bit of a realization last night that I was up for a long time, so I was thinking I just need to show up, and let's see what I can do from it. But to begin this this session, I am thinking we've just seen a big liquidity sweep here, massive, in fact, um, and we are in a general uptrend now. Actually, it looks like we might be moving towards a bit more of a downtrend or consolidation temporarily. Um, you can see here within the smaller time frame that we've had what looks to be like a bit of a liquidity sweep within oops, within this bigger movement right here to grab this liquidity. Obviously, we had this massive losing trade yesterday. So, without further ado, let me get started sketching up what I think may happen. Yes, as you can see, we are very constricted to this box, which is why I'm thinking that yes, that'll be what it is. A ginormous fair value gap was formed right there, and now we have price consolidating within, and I am looking for a break of structure out of that. As you can see there, it did break out, but it popped straight back in. I believe this could be an order block here, which if it is, to be honest, I'm not sure what to do with that information. I'm going to find a quick example of an order block and I'll have a look. Okay, so I've had a quick chat with ChatGPT, and I've searched up some images of order blocks, and I thought this area here would have been an order block. I also got rid of the red square just so ChatGPT wouldn't get confused. And I was expecting it to say, oh yeah, that's an order block. Price might move back down into kind of an area and then shoot up from there. But what I have been told, of course, AI has its limits. It thinks this is more of a liquidity grab. And it thinks that this orange area here could be more of an order block. Because of the consolidation that it had. So I'm gonna start color coding these. I think that would help me. If you can't tell already, I'm quite a big fan of visualization. We can keep that as green for liquidity sweeps, and then purple for order blocks. But I do think that is quite interesting. So here we can see we have consolidation followed by a big push upwards, potential liquidity sweep here. Now, nonetheless, this area basically below that fair value gap that I charted before, this kind of area here seems like an area that the price could bounce off of and then get more momentum, and I'm thinking it will get momentum to visit a new high, more specifically the high up here, which I think is where it's trying to get to. However, we are in a consolidation, and it might end up revisiting this area here. But I think a good way to find out which way it'll go is obviously to play it. But sorry, second. Yeah, sorry. What I've just come to realize is price broke below this fair value gap, and it had a liquidity. ChatGPT thought this was a liquidity sweep, which signals an up movement, but you can see it failed to break through. Maybe signaling, it failed to break through twice, signaling that there might not be enough buying power to push through and reach new highs. So what I'm thinking is price might revisit this order block where there is, I believe, unfulfilled orders from big players, and then once these orders can be filled, we then see a big push up. That's what I think will happen. But then at the same time, I'll do this in another colour. The reason I also think it could go down, obviously, that's a really stupid, of course I think that. But we see a break here, and this might be a break and retest. So we break through, we retested, and now we have the start of a strong push downwards to hit this area, which I don't know, but kind of looks like this one. And this one, according to ChatGPT, is an order block. So with my limited range of vocabulary for trading, I'm going to consider this an order block as well. And I now have to decide which one I think is more feasible. I am going to go with the orange route, that price is going to shoot upwards because I see this candle here. It's really trying to grab liquidity, and I really think the price is going to try and get to the high that we saw earlier here. So somewhere within this blue range. So with that being said, let's push onwards. Okay, so we can see there price has managed to break through this fair value gap. However, it could very quickly turn into the break retest. However, you could say it could break and retest both ways now. But I'm going to stick with the orange sketch that I did, thinking that it might hit an all-time low around here, might even get to here before we get a push upwards. Okay, and now I'll draw it out. So yes, we've had this push down, which is it's scary because it could just plummet. It could just keep going down until this bottom point. I suppose the only way to know for sure is, through experience. But I think we might get one final liquidity sweep before the push up. So what this is telling me is this here, this big downwards candle, is the market makers trying to push down the price, and they've done it multiple times. They have created in the market many fair value gaps, which I'm gonna decide can be orange, which might conflict with the chart a little bit, but it is what it is. They have created, I know that's a small one, but I want to get my point across. Kind of what has been added, which is, I think that's a fair value gap. All of these kind of big orders, big shoots downwards, so they can collect the lowest price possible. And then once they get it as low as they can, they'll then put in their big buy orders. And of course, a lot of people potentially have pending orders here and here. So if it hits these areas, it might rocket up. We might see it rocket up very fast. Now this is unfortunate because this looks more like a consolidation in the grand scheme of things. Could this be a new order block or liquidity sweep? So here we see leg down, bounce off a few times, and it heads to the upside, and it tried to hit it again here. But we still will have pending orders from other people who have viewed this as their entry point for a buy. And if people were to sell, if people were to put in a pending order to sell, I imagine they would put it up here. Get me? And if not, yeah, I don't know where they would put it. Yeah, it's a tough one. Tough one. Okay, so it's a tricky one. We might see the upwards move now, but it just didn't gain as much momentum as I really thought it would. I'm gonna this midway across the chart. Okay, so once again, we can see that market makers are they are pushing down the price. They're trying to convince everyone to sell. They are loading up a big buy order, I reckon. As soon as they get it to where they want, we'll see the prices rocket long. But I need to do the best. I need to do the best to find where they will end up doing that. So now we are creating like they're creating new highs, new like low higher. They're creating new higher lows every time I'm guessing this is from the market makers, and every single time they put in a big order for them to try and shoot the price down, people see this as an opportunity to buy. Do you get what I mean? Every single time. And I don't know if this is them putting in sell orders or selling a long that they already had. I don't know if that's a thing. Like what their thought process is to it. Because within trading, that's what I find really interesting. Is their kind of the psychology, the thought behind it, and that's part of the reason I'm trading crypto. Why I find crypto more interesting is because if we looked at forex, the majority will be banks. The majority of the market cap. Well, I don't know, but I know that with crypto, a lot more people like me are gonna go and try and enter it. You get me? So that causes irregular patterns that maybe aren't expected. You know, more volatility, more just unexpected things might happen. But that's what I find very interesting. and I am convinced, and every time it happens, I'm getting more and more convinced that the market makers are trying their hardest to get a good buy price for the long that they're going to enter, and it's like, yeah, I just need to find that, and it feels the only way I can do that is to just reckon they got impatient because that's what it looks like. If we go down to the 3 minute, like it looks okay. We've got a bit of a liquidity sweep, to be fair, from this high from over here. So that's barely tapped in. It kind of it's a tricky one, but I'm really feeling a strong reversal. The new highs coming up soon. You know, they barely tapped into that, and the market makers did the massive push downwards. And what I find fascinating is even after that move down, especially when you go to the 15-minute time frame, you see one massive candle downwards, which is completely irregular to this whole consolidation area. And even with that happening, people are like, yeah, I'm going to buy now. Because they're thinking they're going to get the best price. You know, it gets down to here. You can see, so bearish candles open here. You know, bearish candles open here and they close here. Bullish candles open here and close here. And there is barely any wicks. Why is it being choppy? I hate that. There is barely any wicks below, which tells me that loads of people are buying. Grid size, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Right. Maybe it's just because I'm so zoomed in. I don't know, man. However, yeah. So yeah, basically no wicks down there, and then a massive wick here. So it went. So this is a bearish candle. So it opened here, gone all the way down, and then came back up. So is that the indication of our reversal? I don't think so. I think that is just the first attempt to get where the real gold lies. And it's not loading in. Oh, that was caps, my bad. has the market just created another order block? Yeah, I'm gonna refer back to ChatGPT here, because I think, well, it definitely does have valuable insight. So I'm gonna screenshot this, and or liquidity sweeps. It was a consolidation before a strong bullish movement. Price reacted to it and reversed. More likely liquidity sweep if price dipped below previous lows, grabbing stop losses before reversing. There was a quick wick down and a strong push back up, signs of a stop hunt. From your chart, it looks more like a liquidity grab because the drop into the zone is sharp. Yeah, fair enough. It likely cleared stop losses from buyers before pushing up. What to do? If price respects this area again, it may act as support. If price breaks below, it cleanly, it was just a liquidity grab. Okay. So if price keeps respecting this, we could think about an order block, and if it blows straight through here, you can see it's wicked twice in this general area. Of course, I did just create this like whimsically, so it's a bit more accuracy. It would look something like that, and then all of a sudden, price has closed in it a few times. So we'll see if we can. I mean, judging from the amount of times we've just bounced off the price, we can expect push upwards, because usually it's down, it's in, out, bounce, bounce, bounce. Not sure how many bounces there'll be, but the best time to enter would be when it gets to this line. See, it's bounced off it again, this time with more force, you could say. But yet again, I'm not feeling it. I feel as if the market makers want to push the price lower, even lower, before finally getting into our blue channel. So I think it's worth I think it would be worth holding on to, and seeing if it breaks through. Okay. Well, that is unfortunate, because I don't know if I would have entered that trade or not. Obviously I'm not entering trades, but I'm talking more if in the future, because We have now broken into this blue channel, but not only that, we have got into it with extreme bullish momentum. The best time to enter would have been right here, where I drew that. I'm just surprised that price didn't push down to here, if I'm honest, because they missed out on a lot of potential buys. So now I'm curious to see where price will end up going. Could look at an even higher move upwards, up to like around there. But the only thing we can do is let it go and find out. Okay. So yeah, with this momentum that I'm seeing, like, whoops. Like, the only thing that's signaling to me that it'll slow down was this wick, this wick right here. But we've had a wick just as big there. The only difference is you can see, you know, you've got a long body. Whoops. So very unfortunate what just happened. It's like pen stopped working. Okie dokie. So yeah, you know, have a long candle, getting shorter, longer to be fair, shorter with a candle pushing down, a wick pushing down, and then a very small body. So I'm not confident that it'll get up to here. I think playing out one more. Okay, that's quite interesting. I do find that really interesting actually, because if I'd seen a candle form like that, and I'd let's say I'd longed from here, and I'd seen a candle go up and then push all the way back down, I would be skeptical to whether the next candle could make a move, and I would probably sell, giving the big buyers, giving the big market makers lots of orders to buy off people selling. That makes sense. I don't know if that made sense to you. Let me elaborate. Do you reckon they did that on purpose? They might have done that on purpose. We see a big push up. People who entered down here are happy because of the big push up. They saw it coming, they longed it, they got it right. And then we see a slow in momentum with that candle, big wick on the top and a medium wick on the bottom. And when that closes, people are content. Okay? Oh, I entered here, and I exited here, and I had a stop loss here. You know, that's like a 2.5 to a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward. Like, I don't know about them, but I'd be super happy with that. A 1 to 2.5. That's enough for me. I've seen it slow down. I don't want to lose profit. Let me sell. And now the big corporations can use all these sells that losers like me have sold. And then in that moment, they can buy. But my only question is, why would they've bought loads here. They've bought loads more here and loads more here every time. Every time it's bounced, this price has bounced off this, what I think is an order block. There's a lot of buys. So why would they then, who's doing this? Who's buying here? Why? Why would you buy there? I'll ask ChatGPT because I need to learn this stuff. I'm gonna outline it in a box and just ask, why on earth would anyone buy here? It's definitely blue. It's red. Let's do green. That's a bluey green. Let's do it green. Okay. So I'm guessing what I need to ask is, I don't know how many pictures I can send. I've only got the free version of ChatGPT. You see that big maybe it was FOMO. Before we asked ChatGPT, maybe it was FOMO, you know? People see this happen. They see that it's finally broken across this channel that I've drawn out earlier. Okay, it's finally broken above this channel. Buy. That seems pretty realistic to me. That does seem, yeah, that seems feasible. Like, damn, I didn't get in here. This could be me in another chain of thought. I thought about buying here, but I was scared it was going to push down to here. And it never did. And now I'm just watching the price rise and rise and rise. Okay? And then I've finally seen the price break past this channel that I discovered earlier. Yeah? As soon as I see it pass, if I go down to a slightly lower time frame, we'll see a close above the channel. That's interesting. Should have looked at this lower time frame. So here, in this candle right here, okay, it closes above this channel. People who entered here sell, okay? And that's what that push downwards was. But then FOMO kicks in. Loads, hundreds of people, less experienced people go, okay, or more experienced people I don't know, but people see that it's broken above and they enter, and it drives the price up quick. It drives the price high. Because they want to catch the wave. Why wouldn't you? Matter of fact, we've seen just such a steady uptrend. With that being said, let's ask ChatGPT. See that big bullish candle in the green box? That shows that there was a lot of buyers, right? Why on earth would people buy now? Just gonna leave it pretty open-ended. Yeah, that's a big bullish candle. Big bullish candle inside the green box shows a huge influx of buyers. But the key question is, who's actually buying here? Smart traders or retail traders? Possible reasons for the big bullish candle. Retail FOMO. So what I touched on earlier. Oh, I did not consider a liquidity sweep, and I didn't consider news. But that is two very good points. This is why ChatGPT is great. This is why a mentor would be great. But every mentor feels like a scam to me, because if you're good enough to teach someone to become very good at trading, why are you teaching? I know there's people that might enjoy teaching, but why? Unless you cost like £50,000. Anyway, so price broke above the resistance line, the blue zone. Yeah, that's right. Retail traders saw the breakout and jumped in. What's a retail trader? Yep, exactly. A retail trader is just someone. Yeah. Unexperienced retail traders. I must be a retail trader, or at least I'm trying. Is a person trying to catch this wave up because they've seen that it's broken above the line in the smaller time frame. They expected a continuation up. Liquidity grab / stop hunt. Institutions trigger breakouts. I don't feel this is a liquidity grab, and the reason being is because, you know, we've got a lot of space left before we hit the highs, the high highs. You know, like we've hit a little bit of liquidity, but we haven't got a lot. We might see a bit of a double peak. We might see a boop, boop, and then drop. I'll draw that out. So I remember I was thinking. Let me get another color. Yeah, we might get a whoop, whoop, and then maybe. But that is a very good point. Thank you, ChatGPT. Okay, so now we are in new highs. We are just wicking the other side now. I'm sure in the lower time frames we are still in candle closure area. Okay, we've nearly hit an all-time peak from any kind of recent price. What was the final point? News. Oh yeah, I didn't see anything down here. Wow, that's insane. What a strong buying power that is. That is incredible. If you entered here, that would be mental. Okay, and now we see a lot of sellers, and and we don't see a single wick there, and a single wick there. Tiny few sellers. We've got more sellers here because, you know, we hit this high that I noticed. But it seems like quite a lot of people. Okay, yeah. So a lot of people sold here because they hit this marker that I also pointed out. This is why I find it so interesting, is everyone's seeing the same thing. So, and 99% of people think the exact same. And it's the ones who have trained themselves to think outside the box that are able to read the markets perfectly. Or better. Read it better. So now we've hit an all-time high in a very long time. You know, I don't know if we can even see the last time we've gone that high. It's been a damn long time. Which means that people are scared. And it makes sense why we're suddenly seeing so many sellers. You know, we've got this massive push down, so this is a bullish candle, so it opened at the top. No, sorry, it opened at the bottom. Loads of sells, but we've still got buys. Do you see what I mean? We open here. Open. Push down. Let's read it like a book from left to right. Open. We push down all the way. And we get to here, and buyers, there's now more buyers, and they push it all the way up to here. And we get back down to here before it closes. Which is interesting. Why are people buying at the top? But also, how do we know if we are at the top? This push here, in another world, could have been a fair value gap. This whole block could have mostly been sellers, and then a big institution has bought long all of this. You know, all of this space they've bought because they know it's going to go up. They've got that inside information. Now I'm not going to ask ChatGPT because I don't want to run out of photos that I can send it. Let's keep going. Are we going to be looking at a double peak? Or we're just looking at a plummet, or we're looking to keep going bullish. So, I can't go to the 1 minute. But do you think this is now, like, if this is incorrect, do you think this sell Okay, so I'll go with retail traders first. So me, um, we bought here. Let's just say we bought at this absolute perfect moment. I pointed out earlier. We head up, and we just hold. I've been watching a lot of the Alex guy, and we've been setting and forgetting. We set and forget, and we hit up here, and we think it's gonna keep going up. Why do we think it's gonna stop? Don't. It just keeps going up. Then we see the price shoot down, and now we're like, damn, I've just lost an eighth of the price. But then they see this big candle here, and they let it ride out. It's bullish. They let it keep going up. Now we hit up here. Yes. Okay. Now at the same price it was at before. Sell, 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 sell. That's all that's going through their mind. We've hit this high, and I need to sell. I need to get the best value of this Litecoin that I can. And we see a monumental sell. You get me? Or we are seeing an institution putting in a massive order of sells. Because you remember earlier we saw a big buy, and then it hit this bottom part again, and then we saw a big buy, hit this bottom part again, big buy. If we add those up, do we get somewhere close to what this is? Potentially. So now that everyone else has seen this, is everyone going to get sell FOMO? You know, they got buy FOMO here. Where was it? Here, in this green box. And now they're getting sell FOMO. Are we going to see the price plummet? Or have we just hit this order block? I'm struggling to see what's happening now. We've got this massive leg down. I'm going to make a wild prediction. Sign off. If history repeats, we're about to see another monumental push up. Got stopped out. Just cheat a little bit and just. I'm saying, I just want to see what happens. Okay. So we did get a push. We did get this this leg. Where was it? Where did it? Oh yeah, this leg down. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Push. But it didn't push very high. And of course it's a nice little 1 to 1.8. It didn't quite hit what I thought it could. And now we have plummeted back down to where we were. Got a lot more cells here. That area. Yeah, this has been a pretty interesting one actually. I've liked this price movement, this massive sweep. I get a feeling it doesn't happen often, but yeah, that's it for now. I need to take a call, and I'll continue afterwards.